Thank you for recording, Rosie. We're going to get started with this development meeting. Again, this is a preliminary meeting. I had a meeting early on with the property owner and an engineer. And so they're going to present what they would like to do with this particular parcel. And then from there, we will come up with what the community would like to see there, and hopefully we can have some good conversation this evening. Jody, I'm gonna give you the hosting rights. Rosie, will you allow Jody to share?
I made him the presenter.
Thank you. Jody, if you would, we can if you would introduce your team and then we can get started.
Sure. Thank you, Councilman Harrell and the neighbors. We're really excited to present to you this evening. I'm Jody Roberts. I have my partner, Brent Smith, with me. We are with Ardent Development. Our offices are just right off of Old Hickory in Antioch. And we're here today to present property address is 4326 Maxwell Road. And let me I'm going to share my screen here if I can. Might take me a second. Whoops. Well, okay. Well, first, let me just start off and tell you a little bit about it. Maxwell Road, 4326. It is 3.8 acres. It has road frontage plentiful of 295 feet. The side dimensions are 588 feet.
Excuse me, that's not a picture of the residence.
Yeah, let me get a map. I'm sorry, I've got the wrong one up and I apologize. Let me get back. How do I stop? Trying to get one. Give me just 1 second here. Parcel viewer. Let me try this again. Here we go. Is this better? Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Here's a map of it. Here's the parcel, 4326 Maxwell Road right here. It's directly across from the D.R. Horton site of single family, right all here. We have 295 feet of road frontage, 588 feet along the side dimensions here. It's a total of 3.8 acres. Single family residence resides on the property now. It's zoned RS10. We're asking for a rezone to RM15 residential multifamily. I've got a concept plan, which I'll share with you in a moment, but we simply want to just build a very small community of 40 townhomes in here. These will be beautiful townhomes, 22 feet wide, approximately 1,600 to 1,700 square feet, 3-bed, 2.5 bath or 3-bath with a 1-car garage. And each of the townhomes will have backyards. I know you notice a lot of the townhome communities in this area, they have very limited backyards, but each of these will, the majority of them will have backyards. As I mentioned, across the roadway from us is a large community of single family homes with D.R. Horton, and those are priced in the 400s to 500,000s. You know, we want to come in at a lower price point. That was something when we were speaking with Councilman Harrell that we felt would be appropriate for this community and this neighborhood. And the pricing will be, you know, in the low 300s. And it'll give a good mix of some single family and townhomes. There was a very successful townhome community just 0.8 of a mile west or north of us, the Oliveri, and they had a number of townhomes there. along with a few single families. But if I can, I'll show you just an illustration. I've got our company has a development or a community just 5 miles south at exits at the Briley Parkway exit. It's called,
North.
yeah, north, excuse me, it's north of here, 5 miles north, Noble Place Townhomes. It's a community of 94 townhomes, much larger than this, but we want to pretty much duplicate the townhomes, the look. And let me share. Let me pull this back up 1 second.
Well, have you got the site plan, Jody?
Yeah. Yes. You want me to pull that up 1 second? Sorry. How do you pull up a site plan from an email? I guess, or here, maybe. Here we go. Can everyone, let me scroll.
Yeah, either the site plan or what they actually look like.
Yeah. And I'll share with you what they actually look like. Can everyone see this concept plan here?
Right now,
Not yet.
no, we see
It's still
you.
pulling up.
Just a white screen.
Oh, it is? Okay. Let me
Yeah, it's
try.
still pulling up.
Oh, it's taking a second? Okay. I guess still pulling up right
You might
now.
want to do something else, Jody. That isn't working.
It's not? Okay. Let me try to stop it and do it one more time here. How about now? Any luck?
Nope.
No? Okay, let me just show you illustration here then.
Also, if you're trying to show from your email, depending on your security settings, you may not be able to share that. May why you'll be having that issue.
Oh, here it is. I think it may come up now, possibly, but maybe not. I'll just try one more and then we'll let it go.
Okay, we see what you're
There, but
saying.
it looks
Tyler.
like the top section is cut off.
Okay, let me scroll. Is that better? Or
Can you
what?
zoom in? Can you zoom out, Jody? Well,
Yeah.
that's fine. You can see it all there. So
Okay. Sorry about that. Right down here is on the bottom is Maxwell. So we would have roughly 8 townhomes facing Maxwell Road here. We'd have a nice wide drive all the way here going up. And obviously we'd have a row of townhomes on each side. And then at the cul-de-sac here, we would have townhomes here. And you can see each of these would have plentiful of backyards here. They'll have nice driveways off of the main drive here, and each would have a 1-car garage. As I mentioned, the townhomes would be roughly 22 to 24 feet wide. So we'd have great backyards of 24 by at least 30 feet of backyards, which I know a lot of folks in the neighborhood, obviously a lot of folks have pets and everything, and we've kept that in mind. And, we feel like this would be a great fit for the area. It'd be a good mix along with the single family and some of the townhomes that are, a little closer by as well. I'll stop sharing here and I'll pull up a rendering. Can everyone see the renderings?
well, Jody, that's an
Yeah,
actual
we can.
photograph of what we built.
Well, yeah, photograph. This is an actual, photograph of the community that I was sharing with you, Noble Place Townhomes. Any of you could stop by anytime. Like I shared with you, it's 5 miles north of our site. It's off the Briley Parkway exit. But this is a community that we've built, and we're still building. And this is what we would do, something similar to this. 22 feet, 24 feet, one-car garages. We would have hardy board, no vinyl on the exterior. You can see we have the exterior windows black. Just a real nice craftsman style, Southern traditional styled, beautiful home.
Jody, what, how many rooms are you starting at? What's the starting point for the bedrooms?
3.
All right. And what do you think you will top out at? Will you top out at 4 or 5? Or will this only be a 3 bedroom community?
Yeah, it'll just be a 3-bedroom, 2.5 or 3-bath community with a one-car garage. And Brent, I'll let you handle the pricing. What are you thinking there? Probably.
Well, if they start giving away lumber, we can be in the low 300s, but short of, it's going to be in the mid 300s to, yeah, price point.
Okay, my concern is a single car garage. I can see that being a point of contention.
Okay. So what,
Also,
maybe,
in regards to parking, what does additional parking look like?
Well, there'll be, every house will have, the code requires two parking spaces per townhome.
so we'd have a driveway, something similar, probably it'd be a
It's
little bit.
exactly what it's, you have, they count one car. Of course, the garage counts as one parking spot, and then you have another parking spot in the wide, where we widen the driveways out. That's where you have your second parking spot. And then we'll have additional guest parking that we'll have there also.
Are
I'm
are
sorry.
we allowed to speak? Are we allowed to speak yet, Deonte, or should we wait till the presentation's over?
Well, so looking at the one car garage, I sparked the that question came to my mind, so I asked, and I apologize if I interrupted the presentation.
No, it's,
No, no, not at all. Go ahead. We're open for
Yeah.
any
And
questions.
if there are any other questions, by all means, if we can start raising hands or putting them in the chat, and I'll get them addressed.
How many guest parking spots will there be?
as many as we can have, as far as it all depends on our that area of land that we have to work with. But one of the things that we try to do, guys, let me just start with this. Our philosophy of this is not to, we don't want to put the maximum amount of units. Like this particular unit at RM15 would allow for 58 units to be there.
Oh my,
We're only proposing 45.
that's a
We
lot.
don't we don't want to put the maximum amount that is allowed or by the zoning that's going to be in there.
Okay.
So we want as much open space and as much, we understand that when people have homes, you have friends and you have guests and you want people to come visit. So we want this to be a nice place for people to actually enjoy their life.
Okay. Now, Jody had said 40 homes. You're saying 45.
It's four, I'm sorry,
It's
That's
40.
okay. I just,
No, I was about to correct them, and I appreciate that. It's 40. The concept plan's 40. We had our engineer, Preston Air, was put this together to us, and that's as
I have
many.
another project I'm working on Hermitage right now that's 45 units. So I'm just.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever built in Antioch before? I think you mentioned something close.
Not in Antioch. Our offices are there right at 12630 Old Hickory,
Okay.
but we have not. But this is pretty close. It's literally just 5
Our
miles.
office is only about, as the crow flies, about a mile from here, if even that far. So
Right. But as far as building in
Yeah.
Antioch, no.
Gotcha.
But this is right off Glencliff Road, which is off of Thompson Lane, Briley Parkway. And it's a 94 townhome community. I think we've completed about 60 of the townhomes thus far. So it's, I'd love we've got model homes open. We've got 2 model homes there. You know, you can stop by anytime if you'd like to, or set up a tour with me or one of our agents.
And what was that called again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's a website too, Noble Place Townhomes.
Okay.
One thing
Hey,
that
Jody.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
spoke out of turn. One thing that we have noticed, I live on Trailwater, which is right behind this proposed development.
Yes, ma'am.
So this would be in my backyard, and there are several of us. There are 13 homes that this development is literally going in our backyard. So one thing that we've noted with all of the construction and development that we've dealt with over the last 3 years, we've had 871 homes built back here in our little cove. The families purchasing these homes or moving in, we have also 281 rental homes that were just built on this side of us. The families that are moving into the homes in our community have multiple vehicles to the point of it poses, you know, dangerous driving at times because there's no room for two vehicles to pass each other because of street parking. So giving just two spaces, one inside the garage and one out, there will be vehicles lining that entire road. And I dare to venture lined up down Maxwell.
I agree.
Yeah. I
Not
share
a-
that concern, and after this meeting, that will be one of my top priorities in talking with the team. But I agree. We know that for most of the households in our area, you can assume that it's one car per room in a house. Whether it's a multi-generational or, mom and dad and a child. As I walk up and down my neighborhood, I see it quite often that it's either equal to the amount of rooms or maybe even additional car per room, per household. So I do see that as being a concern.
Okay. Yeah, no, we can explore that as far as, not certain if we can add another garage, but we can definitely, as far as the guest parking, we can get a count and get back with you on that, exactly what that would look like. Additional, guest parking throughout the community.
Yeah, and I appreciate the notion of trying to keep it neat, but I think that in doing and having less spots is going to cause issues elsewhere. Um, I had another
Could we
question.
possibly go back to the layout of the development that you had right before this slide?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I just, we look at this lot every day, and I personally don't understand how 40 units could possibly fit in there with backyards. It just seems like it seems like an exceptional number of units for that space.
Okay. Well, you can go ahead, Brent.
Yeah, the drawing you're looking at, and this is 3.8 acres, and the drawing you're looking at is to scale. This isn't, we're not manipulating the number, the drawings or anything at all that you see there. And so, yeah, I mean, it is your layout, and that is actually how it works. I mean, these people have, backyards roughly about 20 feet deep. So yeah, it'll be.
Can you scroll up?
It does.
I'm sorry. Could you scroll up so we can see the top of that?
Yep,
Go in if you can.
we're gonna lose your trees.
Yeah, so we have a tree line at the top of that image. there's a tree line in the
Right here.
left-hand corner that kind of goes most of the way over to the right. And then there's a tree line that goes that entire right boundary.
Yeah, right here.
Are you taking the trees?
Well, the way it works is this. No, well, first of all, we don't want to take any trees that we don't have to. In fact, we've spent tens of, I mean, heck, I don't know how many thousands of dollars saving trees. So the last thing we want to do is take any of the trees down, because we have to, for every tree you take down, you have to replace it caliper inch by caliper inch that comes out. So anytime we can leave trees there, 100% we want to leave them there, because it's an asset.
Right. That's great news. So, and I think we'd all like for you guys to know, as the developers, that the 13 homes that surround this property, almost all of us are on this call tonight. So we're all exceptionally concerned because we have been inundated, like I said a few moments ago, with construction, with 871 homes and all of the blasting on all the bedrock for 4 years. So our homes are already damaged. No one would take responsibility for that. Oh, sorry. And so we have really big concerns, because these 4 units in that back left corner are 20 feet from, my deck.
Well, from your deck.
How does that work?
Well, first of all, there's setbacks from all around the entire property. I'm not sure what they are. Most of them are either 40 or 20-foot setbacks from the property line. I'm not sure what they are. I'll have to.
It's got to be a minimum of 12
So,
feet, but
yeah.
I think we can get you these exact dimensions.
Well, but what's the specific question is what I wanted to get to.
Well, the specific question is, we're concerned about when construction starts, are you going to have to blast? Is there going to be more damage done to our homes?
Okay, let me pause you right there. First of all, any blasting that's done, and in fact, this is Middle Tennessee. Okay, if you dig down 6 inches, in most places you're going to hit a rock, and so there will be. I don't want to say, I haven't seen the geotech report on this yet, but odds are there will be blasting that have to be done to some degree, whether it's trench blasting for the utilities. I don't foresee there being mass blasting going on out here in this, but I'm not sure who you dealt with in the past, but when any blasting is done, we are required by state law to go do a blast survey of all the surrounding houses for however, there's a distance that has to be done. A survey is done of every home to make it to document any cracked windows, any cracked drywall, any cracked foundation, any damage to a house before it ever starts. Then it's done post. So, and if there's any damage done, we're required to repair it. So if you have damage in your house from previous blasting, I would highly recommend you get in touch with find out who that contractor was, because they should be repairing it.
Okay.
Oh, we've already been to the fire marshal. They've checked blasting limits. The developers have been within legal blasting limits. We've been around the block with all of that. So, we understand that progress needs to be made in our community. We're just concerned. And actually, I want to let somebody else other than me that lives on these 2 streets have a minute to say anything.
I would like to have a minute. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thanks,
Rita.
Rita.
Oh, thank you. That would be practically in my backyard. My garage has all kind of blasting damage on the floor. The concrete is all cracked. The concrete is cracked in the driveway, and up above my garage, there's damage to the walls of my house. You're practically in my backyard putting that there. You're practically in my backyard. So you know I'm going to get way more damage because that just happened from these houses that's right there, or that these new houses that they just built. Oh, I got all that damage. And then the buildings, the houses on the other side of me. I mean, it's constant blasting. And like she said, there's nobody to talk to because nobody will take responsibility. Because nobody wants responsibility to repair somebody's house. So I have not got any repairs done. But
Wow.
Well, what I would suggest, I didn't catch the gentleman's name. If you have blasting damage to your home and it's from a contractor, they're responsible for taking care of that.
Yeah.
And so if you have not started what that process looks like, or even if you need assistance on my end, we can handle that. Because the gentleman is absolutely right. They're required to do a survey before. And
And
now
after.
what I have experienced, there has been times where there has absolutely been damage and a claim wasn't filed, or by the time they did decide to file the claim, they may have been out of that period. But if there's damage done to your home, by all means, they're required to fix it. And so I don't want us to, I can't speak to some of these other projects. I did not approve them. That does not fall under my wheelhouse. But if you're having issues or repercussions because of that, we need to address that.
yes, and I would
I'm
appreciate that. I do want to do something about it.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad this has been brought up to our attention because I believe we had two minor incidents at Glencliff. I think a cracked window, we replaced that with a neighbor, and then
We
maybe
had just some cracked drywall on another house. So and
drywall.
we went and repaired it all. So
Oh, yeah.
I've got a
It's,
I
question
mean,
real quick. I'm sorry. Mr. Smith, you're actually educating us on how this survey is supposed to work. So when you say they survey, do they go around physically,
yes, ma'am.
knocking
They
on
will physically come
doors?
in. They will knock on your door. They will go and do an interior view of your house, and they'll do an exterior survey of your property. And it, guys, do. I make, excuse
That's
my
never
French, I
happened.
make damn sure it's done, because what I don't want is the lady who was speaking previously about her driveway and garage all damaged and everything. The reason why we make sure it's done is because I don't want to be paying for somebody else's damage.
Well, I can tell you, American Homes nor D.R. Horton, either one came to anybody's houses and did that. And the ones that are being built now at the other side of the subdivision that's behind where y'all are trying to do.
Percy
None of
Cove.
those people come,
Percy
Percy
Cove.
Cove, none of them have come over either.
Not one person.
No, not
Well,
one
I would,
person for
if I were
any
you,
of
I
the
would contact the state licensing board and go after D.R. Horton and put them in, because Lord knows they've got enough money. Because here's the
I
thing.
know.
Well, guys, D.R. Horton is a national corporation, a national home builder. Jody Roberts and Brent Smith are not. Okay, I live right here in Nashville. Okay, Jody lives right here in Nashville. So
We do
there's a
understand.
difference.
We just want you guys, we would like for you to understand
Yes.
the duress that this neighborhood has been under for the past 4 years. It's been constant construction. It's been constant noise, blasting, dust, large equipment tearing up our streets, flying up and down our roads. I mean, I
It's
could
been a
sit here and
nightmare.
complain all day, but we do have, some facts to back up the things that we're talking
We've
about. And we just want,
I'm sorry, we've had construction going on Sundays. We have also had it, they've been laying concrete at about 3:00 in the morning. So yeah, when she says under duress, we're having to hear all this stuff.
So
And
these are all violations.
Yeah, those are violations.
These are things that I need you all, as your representative, I need you all to be in my email, my cell phone, letting me know that this is happening so that I can advocate for you, because there's standards, property standards, in place for things like this. And so it's nothing for me to circle around and reach out to codes and make sure that this is being addressed. You guys should not have to deal with this.
You hear a
Please,
concrete
Well,
truck
at
at
this
3, if you
point,
hear if you hear a concrete truck at 3 in the morning, I'd call 911 myself and stand there and watch the police arrest the guy, because I
Well,
wouldn't
but I
bother with the
did,
council member.
and that's a little bit of our issue as well, is we don't have a lot of police presence. We're too far out and we're too overloaded here in Antioch. So you call them with a 911 call for noise, you're way down the pecking order because of all the
so,
other issues.
so my
So
concern isn't that you're calling 911.
well, if
It's that
All
it's being
codes.
reported in the hub. You
Yeah.
know, I have
if you
by
if you
entering
call
the hub.
if we call 911 for a neighbor's house, there are 4 men shooting into the neighbor's house with children in that home. It takes the police department 24 minutes to get here.
And so that is why you
And
include
that is
me.
a true emergency.
And so I hear you, but that is why you include me. That's my job, is to make sure that you are receiving the services that you are needing in adequate time.
Well,
Can
now
I,
we know.
Hey, can I
So
say something real quick? I mean, listen, we're not perfect. I'll be straight up. For some reason, one of our subs, this was early on, about 12 to 15 months ago when we first started Noble Place, the construction, we had a sub crew that came out and worked on Sunday. Okay. And we had, unbeknownst to us, okay, our GC, neighbors complained about it, told us, went down to codes. Codes gave us a letter, which was great. Best thing we knew. I mean, we're like, no work on Sunday. And you've got times throughout the week. I think Monday through Friday, I think it's 8 to 5. I could be wrong on that.
no, it's
8 to
Jody, it's
5.
earlier than that.
Is it?
Yeah, but guys, let me
And then
bring
on
up a,
Saturday.
I don't,
But
I have a
there's
few
something I want
questions.
to add here real quick, guys. That, I forget now who, I didn't notice who said it, but a 24-minute period of response time on a shooting, that's disturbing. No question about it. But
that is normal for this area.
But let me pull the curtain back on a little something that might, and guys, we know the amount of construction and everything that's gone on down there. It is, and I've been in construction for 35 almost years now. When I drove down that road and was looking at the site and everything, I was like, my gosh, this is crazy. I mean, it's been a lot. I can understand and sympathize that y'all have dealt with a lot, but let me give y'all one little thing, and I hope the council member will back me up on this, that if there's a little bit of a silver lining or a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? With as much activity and construction and development that's gone on in y'all's area right there, now you've got a critical mass of people there, okay, that are also, and here's the dirty little secret that the Metro won't let you know about. Now that little area of town, the property tax dollars that are coming out of that area are going to warrant more police protection. They're going to warrant more things, because if you follow the money, that's where everything goes. And now y'all are getting to an area where you got enough property taxes there, enough critical mass that's getting there, that'll start getting some attention.
The issue there isn't with them getting here. The police department, of course, is way out, and they do not have the staff. We do not have the police officers that can come out to this area.
So that's
Short
not
staffing.
that's not entirely correct, ma'am. We are fully staffed and we have an additional shift. Initially, we had 3 shifts: a A shift, a B shift, and a C shift. We now have 4 shifts, which gives us, our community alone, 10 additional cars. We are making the strides. I understand. I sympathize. I live here, right here with y'all. You know, right now we have a precinct that is scheduled. It is scheduled to be completed in September. That station is fully staffed. We have the FTEs for that station. It's just a matter of us bringing on and determining how much of the area that currently is a gap that they will be filling. Man, guys, I get it. I understand. There's a lot of opportunities in our community, especially around safety and infrastructure. But
Well, Kevin,
things are actively changing in real time. I can say that.
Okay, I have
Commander Level said on that District 33 meeting the other, I think it was week before last, that his exact words were the police department is so understaffed, it's hard for them to keep up with crime. And since all of these new homes have been built, exceptionally the rental homes, the crime in our tiny little quiet neighborhood has skyrocketed. And Miss Rita, do you want to speak on that?
So even
A
that,
couple
like,
of
I
nights
haven't.
ago.
Yes, I do.
Can I
Someone
have
had
one moment, Ms.
borrowed
Rita?
my daughter's car the other night. We've had people breaking in cars and things around here. About 2 blocks away, somebody's vehicle was actually stolen. And the traffic is horrible. It's all you can do is to get out of the neighborhood at certain times. Murfreesboro Road, even making it to it is awful. Certain times of the road, the traffic is already too thick. There's not enough street lights or nothing else. It's dark down through here, and all these people are coming. It's awful down there. The street lights. I
So
mean,
that
it's almost black out there.
you got it, Rita, and that's something that I wanted to touch on. So we've got a couple of questions in the chat, and these may be quick answers to circle back around to what Miss Rita is referring to. Some are not, but I just, if we could touch on the questions in the chat, and then I will circle back to what you're referring to, Miss Rita. Is that okay?
I've got one.
Oh, well,
I'm sorry, I've had my hand up for a while. It just didn't.
I'm sorry, Kim.
okay.
Go
Go
ahead
ahead,
with your question,
Kim.
Kim.
I want to know if we grant this increase in density, how far does that extend? Does that extend to that one subdivision, that one area, or is it?
It's that one, it's the one
like
parcel.
gates?
It's the single parcel.
Yeah, it's any rezoning that we have, it's for that particular parcel. And so this will only apply to this 3 acres here.
Yeah, I grew up in East Nashville, so I'm familiar with the density situation and the crime and all that. This was before East Nashville was trendy. And I went to a school real close to some high density places, and it was crap and it was violent. And we can't necessarily go out at 3 a.m., knowing that our husband is in there and he may not feel so good, or he may be sick, or there may not be a man living there. But I don't want to go out at 3 a.m. and talk to a bunch of people who are working, who need their jobs, but let them, stand there and say, oh, yeah, I'm here with my young children and I live here with just me and the kids. Yeah, I really want to go out and confront somebody like that.
Well,
No,
ma'am, I don't
doesn't
want you
need
to
to be on
confront them.
us.
That is why I am here. You can, by all means, Deonte, there is some building going on at 3 a.m. and we need this resolved. That's not your place, or I don't feel that is your place to have to go out and have that conversation. That's just me personally. We have a lot of systems in place for you to get the assistance that you need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just,
safety first.
they never came around when we were having blasting issues near us. We
Okay,
never saw
and
one
so
person at the
and what I can say,
door.
I was not representing you at that time. If we have issues, you have my email, my phone number is in the chat. By all means, call me, text me, email me. I'm open to you to engaging and assisting my people.
Great.
Hey,
Yeah.
I
Great.
just,
That's good to
I
know.
don't care
In
for this
in
too
in
much.
this area, it's gotten to the point where we don't go outside after dark anymore because of things that happen in the neighborhood. So
Yeah. So safety is
also,
a big concern.
I have one more question, and then Brandis, I
Yes,
know you've
Cece.
got a list also.
Go ahead, Cece.
So the rezoning to RM15, does that include a restriction of NS for no short-term rentals?
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So
It does.
that is in if we approve this, and we say this is the direction that we're going in, there will be an SP on here. So right now,
Wait, Deonte, we're not asking for an SP zoning.
okay, so I will be, because you have a RM15 and you're doing roughly RM, you're not putting those many homes on there. I would have that in writing, because if you tell us that you're gonna build 40 homes, then I'm
Yes,
gonna hold you to building 40 homes.
100%. We are,
100%.
and guys, I want to let me speak to this for a second. Okay, Deonte, I want to
Hold on, Brent, you went out.
no, I have a stutter. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Uh, currently, like right now, we feel like, and because we're actually we're risking our time, our energy. This is our profession, okay? And we seem to know what the public wants a little bit more than planning staff does. And like right now, backyards, having that that's a big deal for people. That way you can have your pet, sit outside and have a glass of coffee in the morning, or whatever. Everyone loves their outdoor space. Planning staff seems to think that everybody doesn't want that they want a garage in their back. They want to pull in, they want an alley in the back, pull in their garage, have a big open space in the front, a community space in the front, and that's it for yard, or even no yard at all. Just a sidewalk, you walk in the front door, and then a garage in the back. So that's why we're specifically not going for an SP, because that's what the Metro forces on all of us now. Anything that you do, they're trying to force you to do something that is not what the public wants.
What
So
is
that's why.
SP
So to
zoning?
answer the question, will there be short-term rentals? Is that a
No.
no?
There
No,
will not be short-term rentals.
no.
Okay.
So we'll definitely put an NS at the end of that. Also,
Yes.
I just want to throw out that we fought this. We didn't fight. We had conversations about a zoning request last summer at 4258 Maxwell. That also was about 3 acres, and they had submitted for an RM15. We ended up all agreed on an RM6 NS. So, I mean, we understand that progress has to be made. We understand that you want to build a very compact, dense community of townhomes in the center of over 1,200 single-family homes. It's just adding. We don't see that this development would provide any kind of improvement for the community.
Yeah, so Cece, that's actually gonna lead into the list that I have. Because we are concerned that even with, we're concerned that with new development, even if we're agreeing to the rezoning change or a specific site plan, that it be beneficial for everyone in the community. So I don't know if anybody in previous conversations outside of this one have talked about impact fees. So impact fees, for those who may not know, those are ones that developers agree to pay per unit that I guess essentially go to the town or the county in question to help with maybe sewer and electric grid upgrades, street lights, lamp posts, green space, connecting sidewalks, street road improvements to include turning lanes. Have you guys had any conversation about your willingness to be a part of the full community and not just your site that you're building for impact fees, so that we all can benefit from this new development?
More, that does not come about until we actually apply with the planning commission. Once we apply, once they apply, and there is there's a number of surveys that's going to have to go into place. And based off of the metrics from those surveys, they will have a understanding of how this will impact the community. And they may request a dollar amount. They may say, hey, there's an intersection nearby that we want you to enhance, but there's a number of things that will come out of that after it is sent to the planning commission. However, that is down the road. For us,
Okay.
we need to come up with what we want to see here. And even in working with the conversation with the developer currently, one of the things that I thought about was, hey, what can we do to preserve that tree line? If we know that there's a 40-foot difference between one backyard has 20 and the other backyard has 20, then what is the potential to keep that tree line there? That way, the homeowners that currently have existing backyards or even privacy, that we maintain that level of privacy. And so there's a lot of things that can come out of this conversation tonight, but this is a preliminary conversation. One of the
Yeah.
things that I have done my very best to do is to make sure that the community is involved in this discussion, and it's not just you receiving, hey, oh, we're putting 40 homes here.
And then are we planning to have additional conversations like this before things move forward, or was this a one and done and we're going to do what we want to do?
So none of our meetings are one and done. Like, this is fluid. We are like, you all are a part of the conversation. And so after this meeting, I will partner with Jody and Brent. And out of your concerns, okay, these are concerns, these are things that I absolutely know that we can make a change on. What is your willingness for that change to come?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I've got a list here that we all kind of gathered. And if I leave off something, somebody let me know. That's perfectly fine as far as like concerns that we have. So you've heard about
And I would like
parking.
for you to
You've heard
email me
about,
that, please.
yep, I will definitely do that. Because I know you've heard about parking and you've heard about, safety. Like I said, sewer and electric grid upgrades is on here. As Miss Rita mentioned, street lights or lamp posts. One thing that we noticed when DR Horton built theirs, they built lamp posts within, their little strip of their community, but nothing was done on Maxwell, and it's completely dark down here. And I've got
Well, the one,
and I've got to
the
put
one that
in.
the one that is on Maxwell, the street racers knocked down a couple of nights ago, so there's glass all over the place.
Mhm. Yeah,
I swept
because
it
when
up.
they let that big section open on the street, now we have street races. Most of us have been here for 15 or plus years. We've never dealt with what we're dealing with right now. Never.
Well,
And then
to
so
that
we
point, Ms.
also
Moore,
had on the list street and road improvements, turning lanes, connecting sidewalks between the neighboring subdivisions, some sidewalks up, down Maxwell, because we still do have residents between here and Maxwell Place subdivision that walk to work. There's no sidewalks for them to walk to work. They're walking in the street right now.
The kids have nowhere to walk on either.
Yep. Groundskeeping maintenance. So that's what I have on the list that I have. If anybody else wants to chime in on any other concerns that haven't been mentioned, and I'll also email that to you, Councilman Harrell.
I have a
There are some
statement.
great questions that have come up here as well, if we can address some of those.
Can I set proper expectations? So some of these things that you're stating are absolutely community needs, but due to state preemption, some of this stuff, if this developer said, hey, we heard their concern and we're willing to buy into ABC, by all means, that's what we want them to do. But outside of sidewalks directly in front of the units or connecting the units to existing communities, I can't require them to put sidewalks along Maxwell Road. We're preempted by the state to do that. So by all means, send me your list. Some of this stuff is things that I will work on as your council member through other channels. But I do want to be clear, as I receive this list, I will communicate out the things that we can or cannot do. Because some things, it may sound like a really simple ask, but state preempts us from asking.
Okay, I have a statement and a question.
Absolutely.
I live across the street from where this is going to back up to. And
Okay.
I've been in this community for almost 13 years. And in that 13 years, it was nice and quiet, enjoyable, and all of us know each other. We're close knit. We know each other's names. We got keys to each other's houses and take care of each other's dogs. That's how our little group is. And most of us in that group are on this call right now. Since they opened the road between where we're at and the rental home subdivision below us, it has caused more traffic coming down our street. And even though that same community can come in from the other side of our neighborhood to get to their homes, and instead of coming down Maxwell Road to go in, they fly down our area. And with the new ones, with 40 more homes coming in, with possibly another 80 to 120 cars, depending on age and how many vehicles people have, instead of going down to the stop sign at Maxwell Road, if they're coming in from the back side, they're going to cut right past our houses, just like everybody else does. And it concerns me because my son, he can't even get out there and ride his bike, and without a car flying by and going to run over our children. And I've almost been hit before by a car from the neighborhood right below us. So my concern is, for one, is they've already put in a four-way stop at Maxwell to help to people have traffic, but it's really not helping because of the amount of the traffic that we're having and still having car accidents. And number two, with the extra people going to be driving through our side of the neighborhood, we need speed bumps. We need to slow these people down because it's very dangerous, and we don't even want our kids out there. My son's now 14, and I don't even want him out there riding his bike because of the way people drive.
Okay, so
I know this doesn't have to affect with them to do themselves. It's a question of what can you do to help us get the speed bumps through our neighborhood to slow the traffic down that's already there and the traffic that would be coming with these new townhomes.
Okay, so the first thing that a lot of concerns have come out of this meeting. The first step to any concern that you have, if it's not a 911 concern where we're dialing emergency help immediately, I need you to put it in the hub. That gives us that's our tracking mechanism. And so once it's put in the hub and you say, hey, and then say 2 weeks ago you had a situation, you put in a hub. Now we're having a meeting and we're discussing, and you're saying, hey, Deonte, man, I put this in a hub and there's no traction. Or they close it, said it's complete, but I'm still looking at stuff across the street in the road. That gives me the data to say, hey, Ms. Moore has reported this 3 times, and this is the outcome. And so now we can track who touched it, what happened, and what was the resolve. And sometimes it's not a resolve. We're going to have to take said person to court. But if there's no official report, then some of this stuff is not going to get addressed. And so one thing that I encourage everyone here, if you have put it in the hub, send me the request ID. Hey, Deonte, I reported this, FYI. That way we can know that things are being addressed appropriately. And, because, hey, it's 23,000 of us. Like, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah, because we just want something to slow the traffic down. We need to speed bump or something. And it's like she said, that house that got shot up by those 4 men, I live right beside that house. I was outside in my front yard on the phone with one of the other neighbors, and they came walking down the street and waved a gun at me and said, this ain't none of your business. Get your ass, pardon my language, back in your house. And I went in my house and grabbed my son, and we went to the back of the house, so in case gunshots started flying in my house. And I heard every one of those and knew the 2 boys that was in that house next door. And I was on the phone with their mama when all this stuff happened. And there was 3 of us on 911 trying to get people there asking me a bunch of crap questions.
Okay, and so when you have a situation like that,
and I'm just saying, and then like with Miss Rita, she's 2 doors down from me. The lady across the street from her, there was someone in her backyard not 3 weeks ago. all dressed in black. And the only reason she knew they was there is because her dog found the man. So it's causing a lot of riffraff coming through here. And with these being homes that are being bought, that also makes a difference. But with our traffic situation, the way it is, and traffic will back up from Maxwell Road all the way to Murfreesboro Road, and you can't even get into your own subdivision as it is now. But if we're going to have them coming through the back, we need a way to slow them down. Period.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, so I have two things for you. First and foremost, I need you to put a request in the hub, and then come March, the traffic calming application process will be open. I need you and 3 of your neighbors to submit an application for traffic calming, and I will take care of the rest.
Oh, you can get more than 3 of
I
us.
can give you
I
the
promise.
number of the one I sent in last year to have speed tables put up.
Okay,
I'll give you the number for that, and that was 6 months ago.
okay, and that
Yep.
and so you may be on the list come March when we accept the new 50 units. The way the traffic calming process works, in the top half of the year in March, we add 50 streets to the list for traffic calming projects. Come the fall, we announce the priority of those said streets, but then we also add another 50 to that project. And so I will get to see where you are in the list come March as far as priority. And then if we are low, or depending on where we are, we may have to do this again. But you know, more information will come out of traffic calming. My biggest takeaway from this conversation, and Jody, I apologize that this is where the conversation went. But I have to know about a lot of this stuff when it's happening or close to it, because it's hard. Like, granted, I understand that these things are happening in our community, but for us to get resolved or fix them, I need to know, and I need to know in the moment. Like, that is because that's my job to advocate for you all.
Well, we appreciate someone that cares.
Hello
Yeah,
again, everyone. I just got one question about the development. Do you have bedrooms downstairs? Since you said 3 bedrooms, any downstairs, or are they all upstairs?
They're all upstairs.
Okay.
I wish we could come up. I wish there was a way we could do that, but it's just not. I mean, and it's just not.
Okay. Even if you went down from 40 to 39, could you not make a bedroom downstairs?
Well, no, it's just the way the way a townhouse has to be designed to fit, because we're trying to fit a certain price point, and because that's the other thing, guys, that we're trying to hit a price point that's hard to hit. I mean, if y'all haven't noticed, things are expensive, and it's unbelievably hard to try to get to build something and have any hope of making a living at 350 in this area. I mean, it's just, and I know it's hard to wrap your mind. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around a starter home at $350,000, but that's where we are. So
can we address
I
some of these
have a few
questions that
questions.
have come up?
I am about to start asking questions that are in the chat. If you give me a moment,
Perfect.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
So we have quite a few questions, guys.
Okay.
Do you guys intend on turning this over to an HOA? Will this be and also
there will be an HOA, yes.
Yes.
there will be a HOA, okay?
And once again, it's a for sale product, no rental.
It is a for sale product. Awesome,
sale.
awesome. So I know that we are early on in this process. Have you identified any geological features, sinkholes, standing water that you may have to address in this project?
I haven't seen the geotech yet, Jody. Have you?
Nah, we hadn't had the geotech yet. So
Okay.
It definitely floods back there, so
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Okay. How about is your intent to build on a slab, or will these units have crawl spaces?
Slab.
It'll be a slab, okay. Also, the area that is surrounding the property, do you anticipate fencing off this community from the existing community?
That's going to be left up to the HOA, and those are the type of things we leave to the community and the people who live there. It's not anticipated to be a gated community, no.
But just a fence around, probably, I would lean to say good chance that the HOA will want that. Would be a, perimeter fencing potentially.
Okay, in regards to green space, is there any area that you have identified that will be like a communal space?
That's what we're working through now. We don't have our final design down, but we're
Okay.
working through it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for keeping that in mind.
Mhm.
So are there any other concerns or questions that the community want to be heard right now?
Yes, I've got something. Why does it have to be 40 units? I mean, say for instance that it did pass. That's a whole lot of units right there. Couldn't you drop the number down to more normal, like at least 20 or 25? I mean, because
Well,
the
then
kids
the
are gonna
numbers
miss
don't work.
all
Then the economics don't work. And
The
feel
price of the
free,
units
if
will
y'all want to
go
go
up.
talk to the people who are selling that property and they want to cut the price, they want to sell that property for about half of what they're asking for it, we might can do something, but the economics don't work.
So that property hasn't actually been sold yet?
We have it under contract to purchase it.
If
Okay.
you get the zoning
We
that
were
Yeah.
under the
you
impression
need to build what you're,
Yeah, but we're
Yeah.
we're actually, we're still under what we're asking for, and as Councilman Harrell said, he'll hold us to that 40 count. I mean, RM15 is a
58 units.
normal zoning, right? So it's 15 units per acre. And so we've scaled already back to, 10 units to an acre. I mean, you can pretty much say it's 4
The-
acres.
the 871 residents that have been built back here within the last 3 years are all on a quarter acre lot. So I have trouble envisioning, because I am so familiar with this property that you're considering purchasing. I cannot vision 40 units being in that tiny space.
Okay.
Yeah, how many townhomes are going to be like together in a group? Is it going to be like 4 or 6 or 8, 7?
Well, yeah, so on the rendering that they gave, it looks like there's 12 on both sides of the street, on the straight. So behind like mine, Miss Lupe, Rita's, and Cece, and Rita's house is 12 down that row. You're gonna go across the street. There's 12 on that row. In the back in the corner where Cece's lot is where you have 4 on the left. Or on the right, and then you got some in the very front that's on Maxwell to total out the 40. If they pull the rendering back up, yeah, you got like 2, 4, 6, 8 facing Maxwell, 12 down the back side, 12 across the street, 4 in the back left, 4 in the back right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just don't want a bunch of Airbnbs.
Yeah, no Airbnbs, no ma'am.
With this being an HOA, most HOAs do not allow owners to rent out. Is this going to be the same? Do you know if this HOA will be the same?
It'll be,
Go ahead, Brent.
no, that'll be at the discretion of the HOA.
Yes, that was what I was gonna say. So it is up to the community, us, and that HOA to have a covenant. Essentially, what that covenant will do is tell them, like what my HOA does. You are unable, if you decide to rent your home out, you cannot rent out prior to a certain amount of years. And then even so, there's a clause within our contract that only a certain percent of residents are able to rent their properties out. So if you're illegally renting it out, it comes with a heavy fine.
But if this property got zoned RM 15NS, then it would never even come into question.
Correct.
because
Correct.
rentals wouldn't be allowed.
Correct.
That's not correct.
Hey,
Yeah.
go over that way.
You could,
For no short-term rental?
No short-term rental, correct.
but
100%.
long-term rental.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
okay.
You know, I've lived in my home for 32 years, right back behind this house, and I will not feel safe at all.
And what?
Well, I receive your feedback, and by all means, give me a call. Let's talk about what we can do.
If I can, am I muted? Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you,
I can
Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that you two are businessmen and this is what you do. But as a Nashville native, now living in Antioch, Antioch's a different breed. It just is, as far as homes, the people, everything. And our area looks very different during the day than it does at night. I just kind of would like for you guys to potentially come out in this area and the surrounding area about 6 o'clock at night. And you may then see our issue with cars and traffic and stuff like that, because Antioch is also, you, like someone has said, you have multi-generationals buying these homes. So you're not looking at 2 cars, you're looking at 4, 6, 8 cars. That's why we're a little bit concerned with the 1-car garage. I know you guys have a price point, but if I can, kind of urge you guys to kind of check out the area at night, even, what is it, Heritage? I mean, there's
Heritage
cars in the
Landing.
street.
Oh my God, Heritage Landing. that
So
place is
yeah,
disgusting.
like I said, I know you guys are businessmen, and this is what you do, and sometimes you don't get lost in the semantics of everything else. But that's a big concern for a lot of us also, is just parking and cars and stuff like that. So
And if you do decide to come visit us after dark, bring flashlights, because there are no street lights.
Right.
Hey,
Because I
guys,
just
literally,
pulled into my
I'm
driveway.
not
I
joking.
work at
My office is
Metropolitan.
literally a mile from where this is. My office is in Antioch. I'm not a
Right.
stranger to the area. And I'm
Right.
not a native Nashvilleian. Jody is. He grew up here and spent his whole life here. I guess there's a restraining order. He can't leave Nashville or something. I don't know what's going on with him,
Right.
but I've spent the last 20 plus years of my life here. My wife was born here, grew up here, died here, and buried her here. So, I know we're all dug in. We're not a bunch of California developers in here trying to milk the community.
Oh, one thing is we just want to make sure there's plenty of lighting.
It's different when you come after hours when children are home.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to also consider when it comes to multi-generational, that means, hey, some of us have teenagers who, guess what, have cars. So we understand that you're from the area and you're from Nashville, but what she's asking is, come to our neighborhood for where you're trying to purchase this property when it's after 6:30, 7 o'clock, when everybody is home, so you can see what it fully looks like at that time of day. Because one of the things that the D.R. Horton homes did, they made the alleyway drive for people to drive up to their garage. We still have cars lined down both sides of that street, and I can't tell you how many times I've almost hit a child out on a bicycle because I can't see around those cars. So we get that you're from here. We're not saying you're not. We absolutely know by your demeanor you are not somebody from Texas or some other state with bucket loads of money trying to buy up property. We get that. We're just saying, come see us at night when everybody is home. And you can see, and like she said, bring your flashlight.
Yeah. I mean, I work.
Have enough lighting.
Right. I work at
And
Metro
don't let the
Center.
gunshot scare you, because
Yeah,
that's
that
just
too.
a part of the nightly routine.
The gunshots, yes. I
So-
just pulled up in my driveway. I work in Metro Center. And like I said, I live across the street from where this backs up to. if I look and looking in my drive down the road here where the development is beside where the property you're talking about with all these rental homes, it is pitch black dark down there.
All right, I got my
And-
light
and
on, so when I come to
it's-
visit, where do I go for dinner?
Oh,
we'll have a cookout for you.
You can't either see since she can't cook.
I'd be happy to help out with that.
We can all meet at my house like we always do.
Yeah, we do. We do like a pork
Good.
pork day, and we were supposed to do a chili cook-off, and we try to do neighborhood stuff together and for us to get together and eat and things like that sometimes. And so feeding you wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Good. That's good to know.
In the event
I mean-
that you like New Orleans cuisine, I can absolutely whip up some red beans and rice and some skillet cornbread for you.
Well, I know our community will be lit, okay, and we'll be a part of the community as well. And so these are, great questions and great ones.
Just want to be able to see if someone's coming back through there and across the fence into the backyards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the area is that there's not enough lighting for you to see this stuff. Because, 2 doors down from me, a car was stolen. The house next door to me, those kids got shot at. The lady across the street on the corner, there was a man in her backyard when she went to go out to get her dog in. Miss Rita had the 2 cars broke into 2 days ago. And we want to make sure that we can see if something's over there, that there's plenty of lighting so people can see if there's something coming to their home.
Exactly. I'll share this, and I mean this. Generally, we light our communities up like a Christmas tree. I'm telling you.
That's good to know.
Well,
we
then that's
do.
it's
Out
kind of
far-
a catch-22 because we don't want stadium lights in our backyard either.
Oh, there's no. Cece said Cece wakes away on her back deck. I mean, y'all don't need to keep her up at night. But she has to have that tree line. She has to have that tree line to have privacy. So she can
Sure.
nap.
But down the roadways for sure. And, obviously outside in the neighborhood, down that, we can't control that, but we can advocate for that like you're doing now with Councilman Harrell to get more lighting there, which makes total sense. But no, in all reality, I really want y'all, I'll be sure to pass the address on to, or put it in the chat or give it to Councilman, where you guys, if at any time you can ride through our current community.
Okay.
So
that brings up a question real quick about your current community. How long has it been an active community?
For about 9 months now. We're
Okay.
in phases.
Wait. Hold on, Jody.
Active with people moved in and living there.
Yeah,
Is that-
it's been longer than that.
What I'm asking is how has it impacted the houses surrounding it, and has it raised their property value at all? Is it too new to evaluate that? It's too new.
It's too new. Well, and here's the
Okay,
thing.
that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, we've got
Nashville
phasing. We incrementally raise the pricing a little bit, but it's still too early. Okay.
Okay,
phase
that's
one
fine.
and-
Well,
yeah.
and
Phase
honestly-
1 and 2 was 28 townhomes, and then we began the next 25. And
Jody, she's saying, how did that community affect the surrounding property values? Not did we raise prices in the place?
Yes.
No.
oh, it's too early. It's too early.
No.
Sorry.
And
That's
honestly,
okay.
when you're in a community like as hot and as vibrant as Nashville's been for the last 10 years, one little thing won't move the needle that much anyway. I mean, when housing is going up, what?
Yeah.
Easily 10% a year almost, it seems like. I mean, I don't know. It's
and just for this area alone, like if we factor in the potential of houses not too far from this area coming in at 600 or 700, that value is going to be conflated some.
Mhm.
Now, how long
Well,
do you anticipate for the build to take once you start breaking ground?
Good question, Brent.
We'll be in and out of this development in 18 months.
Wow.
Oh, that's a year and a half.
Jesus Christ, that's a long
Okay, a year and a
time.
half. Okay. Jody, can you
Oh,
turn
gosh,
this
I'm
off
not
so
on
we can
Dawn,
see
you'll have to
everybody?
wait to put in your pool.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I was telling Dawn she'll have to wait to put in her pool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fine. I have a question.
When you say
Go ahead,
that,
Cynthia.
on the vertical construction side, it'll be a total of 18 months?
From breaking ground to finished is 18 months.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll have bulldozers in our backyards and all that clacking noise and dust and disruption for 18 months.
No.
Now, the bulldozing and blasting generally doesn't take more than what, 6 weeks?
3 or 4 weeks. Or our site work, our total site work is only 4 months. So the beginning is about 8 weeks worth of time. It's not that long.
Yeah. Are there
One
any
quick
plans
question
for
about your other development? What kind of, have you had any issues come out of that other development as far as what kind of problems have you had crime-wise or response time-wise, traffic-wise, anything that you could share there?
I'd share anything we could, but there isn't anything to share. We haven't any issue, any feedback or anything at all that affects.
We had a couple of small issues, like we said, with the blasting, but we took care of it ASAP. A cracked window and some drywall. We've been really good about shielding off the rest of the community from the units that have been finished. So there's really been no complaints there. I mean, there's no theft or anything of that nature.
Are y'all going to start building in the back, or are you going to start building in the front?
I hadn't even thought
So
about
guys,
it.
a lot of questions are coming. This
It
is
may
a
be the left
very
and the right.
preliminary
Okay,
meeting.
I'm
This is
not.
a
We hadn't
preliminary meeting.
even thought about that.
Yeah, this is very early on.
Yeah.
Well, since this is Deborah again, since we know that these are 3 bedrooms, obviously we're going to anticipate a lot of kids. Is there going to be a play area for younger children? Because we have nothing out here that's close enough. I mean, there's Cane Ridge Park down the, right
So
down
we
Old Hickory Boulevard, but it's
we
not.
have not got to that point to decide what that looks like. I did ask them early on in this conversation, and right now they have not even looked at that yet.
We're still doing our blocking and spacing right now. So we're going to try to put it, guys, I mean, this is the thing. As a for sale product, of course, we want to give it the best product we can to who we're selling to, and we have competition out there. So of course we want to have as much open space as we can, a dog park if we can, if we playgrounds, anything that we can, we will add. But again, at this price point, everything's sensitive. But we will do everything we can to put as many amenities as we can on the property.
But would that be open?
I don't think a playground would.
The neighborhood, or just
that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal.
If it's an HOA, it won't be open to outside neighborhood.
Excuse me?
I'm not sure a playground would be a great idea because the older kids would just cause all kinds of trouble.
But it's at least some place that they're together and they're safe instead of roaming the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, so
after dark.
Right.
Uplifting those concerns. So I think 2 things should come out of this meeting tonight. One, of course, Jody, I'll meet with you all. However, there's a great deal of neighbors that are directly affected by this, and I would like to meet with you all directly.
Okay, that sounds wonderful.
We would love that.
And then from there, we can work on a few things. One, what does this development look like in regards to, being besides your existing communities, but then also there's a great deal of safety concerns that have came from this. And, so there are some concerns for me as your council member as far as what's being currently reported or not. Like, we need to have things resolved in a timely manner, and so part of that is us having this relationship. So if you all would like to get together and shoot me some days that we can do a community event, and I will absolutely come over there and we can discuss and iron out some of these issues that we're having.
Yes, we would love that, and we would welcome you here and be glad to walk the streets with you with a flashlight.
Well,
Not
I
after dark.
Nope.
I have a question. What about the property taxes? The last time the taxes went up a whole $1,000 when they built these houses right there on Maxwell. We went from a thousand, from 1,300 to 2,300. It keeps on bringing the taxes up every time they build anything. Nobody's brought up the money. I'm a senior citizen. I just don't have money for the taxes to keep going up every time something's built.
so Miss Dawn, was that you who
That
made
was
that
Miss
comment?
Rita.
No, no, that was me, Rita, talking about the property
Okay, Miss
taxes.
Rita. So there's some resources. Let's reach out to me directly.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
No problem.
I can take you downtown if you need me to. I know where that office is.
Yes, I need help.
Councilman, can you tell that we are the neglected stepchildren of the community?
Well, I don't like hearing that.
We are.
I'm responsible to provide the same care to everyone. So I don't like the idea that you feel that you are neglected.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
We'll get a
Um,
date. We'll get a
so-
date organized and get you out here, and we'll all talk.
Absolutely. In regards to this development here, I have the questions that are in the chat. If there are any questions that did not make it to the chat or that you feel that you did not have answers, please email me. If emailing is not a simple task, text me. You have my access. You have access to my numbers, my emails. Please let me know what questions and concerns you have. In
Are there
addition
any other
to
questions before we leave?
Please don't do this.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I have not spoken, I've just been listening, but I have been a member, I've actually been a homeowner in this community for 26 years. And so I've seen a lot of change and a lot of things happening and building. And I just want to, first of all, thank you all for coming and sharing your information with us and the councilman and all of the neighbors that are around. I don't know you all, but I do appreciate what everyone has said. My biggest concern is definitely the traffic in this area. We don't have enough outlets already
No,
as it stands. Murfreesboro Road is where everyone's trying to get to, and you only have but a few options to try to get to Murfreesboro Road. And so, with that being said, I mean, I love that the four-way stop has been added at Maxwell. Much needed, was needed a long time ago, but it's there now. It works when it works, right? So that,
Exactly.
but but as far as you've got Pinhook. Like I know how to get to work every day, but I also use Waze to get me to work because I need to know what's going to be the fastest route. Like I know I go to work all the time, so like I know how to, and that's just places in general. So when because it's going to give me those different routes. Because now my mother lives 7 minutes away from here. And when they started doing retrafficking and some construction and different things in her area, she had a nice quiet street. She does not have that anymore. She's over on Huntingborough. She doesn't have that anymore because people have been redirected and all of that. My biggest concern is definitely the traffic. We've already talked about safety. I've had my car stolen 6 months ago. And we were able to get it retrieved only because I had an air tag in my car. But it took the police, and that's another that I understand that is another story for another day, and we could have that conversation. But it definitely took the police. But we were able to locate my car, which literally we could see them driving and moving around because of the air tag. And they would stop, they would stop, they would stop, they would start. They finally parked it around the corner from my house, literally, and left it abandoned there. The police told us that what happens is they'll have people from another side of town come steal the cars, drop it off in an area around the corner, like pretty much like where mine was, and call the next person and say, hey, I've left this over on Trailwater. Go pick it up. So basically like that's what happened with our car. But we were able to go and retrieve the car. The police were like, well, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Listen, I took my little 6 pieces of biscuit. We went around there and we got it and we brought it back home. So they were not good thieves that night. But all that to say, there's a lot of my biggest concern is the traffic. You know, the safety is going to be what it is, but I just think that area and having 40 units there, I can't imagine it either. But I'm not a contractor. I don't build things, but I just feel like that's so compact to have that many homes there. And then you're talking about, I have a multi-generational home. My daughter is back home now. My mother-in-law lives with us. And so my husband, myself, so there's 4 of us, and we've got 4 cars. And Lord forbid we have a guest that comes. Now
Right.
I'm on Pepper Tree. And so, and then we've got the side street that comes on the side. So if I have any guests, we've got to have them to park on the side street. My next door neighbors have since, because parking is what it is, they have since taken their front yard and put gravel down, and now they're literally parking in their front yard.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I know what house you're talking about.
So they are now, they have to have parking in their front yard,
And so
and then they've
even
got
something like that is something that I need to know about because that's a violation. You're not allowed to park your vehicle in the lawn. If that is what that space is designated for, they're not supposed to be doing that.
If
That
you
happens
don't want to
everywhere.
come through Pepper Tree Forest, then
Yeah, you need to
yeah,
drive down Pepper
And
Tree
and
Forest.
so
yeah.
here's what I need. I know this is we're kind of off slightly, but this is what I'll say. If someone puts a ticket in the hub, what it then happens is that there's an inspector. They're gonna come to your street, maybe even your neighborhood. And so they're not looking at just the house that you reported. They're going to go down the street, come back around, go up the other side. And so oftentimes there's a joke like, be careful if you are reporting someone and you have a violation of your own because multiple people will be cited. They're going to cite whatever violation they see. It doesn't matter who called it in or who didn't call it in. And so when you guys report these issues, you're able to get more eyes on the community, period.
I don't think she meant to say that as a complaint. He
No,
put the
no,
gravel and parked in his yard because it was safer for his vehicles to be off the street.
exactly. Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Like,
Yeah, I'm not complaining they've done. They've made beautiful renovations to the home. It's just the fact that because again, multi generational number of people that are living in the house, those that have vehicles, but they don't have any other choice but to resort to that as far as parking is concerned for their household. And so that to say you're going to be adding those new 40 units that are there, and even if each unit, that's still 40 cars. And
Yeah,
then
I understand.
you're gonna say, okay, so here's double that.
most people don't use their garages to park their cars in anymore. They use
Mm-mm,
them for storage. So they're going to
mm,
have 2 cars in their driveway, and then if they've got a third vehicle, then it's going to be on the street.
right.
Okay. So I thank everyone for their concerns. And I am for those of you that are over by Pepper Tree, I will absolutely set out some time and come and sit with y'all. Also, I'm gonna encourage there's a lot of new faces on this call that I have not seen before. Our district meeting is the last Monday of every month at 6 p.m. United Hamilton Methodist Church. We have department heads. We have the most recent department head we had was Metro Police. That was in January. After everything that had transpired earlier in that month, there were safety concerns that the community had, and we got a lot of answers for those questions specifically. I need you all, like, there's a lot of concerns that came out of this meeting. I need you all to have representation at the community meeting, so when we are talking to these department heads, they are hearing these issues directly from you.
Okay. Can do that.
This zoning request has awakened the beast, I believe.
Hey, if this is what it takes, I appreciate it. Because
Yeah.
I'll be very transparent with you. For all of the concerns and opportunities that we have in our community, it's the same 10 people that are actively addressing the concerns.
Okay.
Well, you
Well,
just
you
got
just added
50.
about 20 more, so
Well, I appreciate everyone's time. To Jody and
Thank you
Brent,
guys very much,
I
sir.
will shoot you an email so that we can recap. For anyone in this group that had questions, or if you know you're talking to your partner tonight and you're like, hey, I didn't ask Deonte this or I didn't ask him that, please email me or text me. That way, when I'm recapping with the developers, we are able to have these conversations. And of course, this was a robust conversation. A lot of information came out of it, or a lot of concerns came out of it. So we will be having another meeting at some point. But I'll be circling back with both parties so that we can have a consensus of what we want, what we don't want.
Yes, we just don't want what happened
If
before.
I could just say one thing, guys, please give Jody and I credit for bringing y'all together tonight, okay, to get all these other issues talked about. So when you're weighing the scales of everything, don't give us, give us some credit for bringing y'all together tonight, okay?
Oh, no, we do. And we thank y'all very much. And we just want you to come see what the other neighborhoods look like at night. So you can
We
see
appreciate it.
what we're not wanting. And that's the main issue. That's a lot of the issue is for you to, we don't want it to be what everybody else has been putting up. It needs to be something better.
Okay. I appreciate your comment. And again, I'm looking forward to meeting with everyone. A lot of good conversation came out of this, and I'm here to do the work. So we're just gonna have to partner together, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out because I'm here to do the work. With that being said, Rosie, you can end the recording, and everyone have